Hi, welcome to Android app development. In our previous module, we learned about fragments. In this module, we will use fragment to build a swipe enabled app or an app with a swipe functionality. At the end of this module, we will build a simple app which shows few device information along with the device image. And you can swipe from one device to another device. As you can see that this app, and it shows the image of the device and the description, little bit description about the device. And if you swipe, it shows image of the Android device and little bit description. And if you do swipe one more time, it shows the iPhone image and the little bit of description. So this app will build at the end of this module. So to do that, let's just create our simple project first. We'll say project name as swipe view, and we'll select the minimum SDK 11, which is the required version for fragments, and we'll say next, next, next. And here in additional feature, we will select swipe view pager. This is the additional feature which will enable the swipe view. As you can see here that it shows that swipe view is enabled for this activity. So we'll say finish. As now you can see that our project is created. So first of all, let's go to our layout main view here, activity main, and you can see that here the view is view pager. This is the view which provides a swipe functionality, and it generated the fragment underscore main here. And if you go to our main activity Java file, it generated some code for us to use. So but we will start everything from scratch. So what we'll do is we will delete this code and we'll start from scratch. So let me just delete this code. So these two classes I'll delete. I'll select this and delete. And at the top, what I'll do is I'll comment this line as of now, and I'll comment this line as well, and I'll comment this variable as well. So now our main activity is almost ready. One more thing we'll do is this fragment underscore main. We will delete this fragment, delete, and I'll say delete. So now our project is ready to start from scratch. As you can see now that I have already added an array resource, and in this array resource I have one string array which has our device details and other string array which has details about each device. And I also added an image for each device for different device resolutions. So now what we will do is we will create our device layout first. So we'll come to layout here and we'll say go to new and say layout, and we'll say fragment underscore device. It is our linear layout. What we will do is we will add a text view in this layout and an image view in this layout. So first of all, let's add an image view to this layout. So get this image view here and drop it over here, and get the text view and drop it over here. For the image view, what we'll do is we will set size, and we'll say min height is 100, max height is 100, and min width is 100, max width is 100. Now after this, what we'll do is for this source, we'll say default image is our icon image, and the gravity we will say as center, horizontal, and the top margin we will select here. Let's say margin, go to top, and we'll say top margin equal to activity vertical margin. So our image is ready now. And for the text view, what we will do is first of all we'll set the top margin. So top margin, activity vertical margin, and we will say the width equal to match parent, and gravity we will set to center horizontal, and text size we will set 22. Now what we will do is we will give an ID to each view. So first of all, for image view we will give ID, we will say image view device, and for the text view ID we will say text view device description. So now our layout is ready. What we will do now is we will create our device fragment class and say okay, and here we'll extend it from the fragment. So say extend from fragment. We'll extend it from the fragment which belong to android.support.v4.app. As we know that we need to return a view from our fragment, so we need to override on create view. So say on create view, and let's delete this and say define a view here and say view equal to inflator dot inflate. Let's inflate our layout into our container. So we'll say r dot layout dot device fragment device and inflate in our container and say false. Now we'll return a view here. So to display this text and this image for each device, we need this data in our fragment. So now what we need is our device title, device description, and the image for a device. So whenever the fragment is created in our app, or whenever our app will create a fragment, it will pass this information to our app in the bundle, and we will access this bundle when we are creating a layout for our fragment. Here in onCreate view, we are accessing that bundle, so we will access, and how to do that is we'll say bundle equal to bundle, and we'll say get arguments. Bundle is nothing but it's like a collection of key value pairs where the key represents some string and the value is anything. So to extract our strings or our image IDs or our drawable IDs from bundle, what we'll do is we'll just first check whether the bundle is not null. We'll say bundle is not equal to null. We'll say int image ID equal to, we'll say bundle get int. So let's define some string values for our keys like image ID and description. So when our fragment will be called, that data that we attach to our fragment, we will use this key, and now in our create view, as we are extracting these arguments, so we are using this key to get the value. So here I'll say image ID key and I'll say OK. So I have the resource ID for our image, and now to get description I'll say string equal to, I'll say bundle dot get string, and the key is our description key. So now we have our resource ID for image and our description. What we'll do is we will set their value. How to do that is we'll create one simple method, say set values, and we'll pass our view here, and then we'll pass our image ID, and we'll pass our description, and say alt enter and create a stub for it. Just press tab so that you get into our method. So now what we want to do is, in our fragment, device fragment, we created this image and the text description. So we will set their value. So let's come to our set value here and we'll set the value. So first of all I need image view. I say image view equal to view dot, I'll say r dot id dot image view, and I say okay. Into typecast I'll say alt enter, say okay. And to set the resource, how I'll do is image view dot set image resource, and I'll pass the image ID so that our image ID is passed. And to set the text view, we'll say text view equal to text view, and we'll say view dot find view by ID. We'll say r dot id dot text view, and we'll say alt enter, and we'll typecast it. And now we'll set the description. So we'll say text view dot set, and we'll say description. Now for our fragment, the data is set. Now to tie our fragment to page viewer, we need a fragment pager adapter. So let's create a new class, say new Java class, and say device page adapter, and say okay. And here we'll extend this class from fragment page adapter, say extend and say fragment page adapter, now it's showing a red line, so just press Alt Enter, and it's asking us to implement few methods. We'll say OK, and we'll say OK. Now still it's showing a red line, so just do one more time Alt Enter, and it's saying that create constructor matching super. We'll say OK, let's create it. So our constructor is also created here. Now you see that the fragment manager is passed to this constructors, and we'll pass one more thing, which is our application context, because we need to access some resources. So say context equal to context. It's our device page adapter's responsibility to set a data in our swipe view or our view pager. So to set the data, first of all, we'll get our resources. One is our title resources and one is our description resources. So how we will do is, first of all, we'll define our resources string. We'll set devices, and second is our string device description. And now in our constructor we'll get this using a resource. Resources equal to context dot get resources, and what we'll do now is, so we'll say resource equal to resource here, sorry, and what we'll do now is we'll say devices equal to resources dot get string array, and we'll say r dot array dot devices. And similarly we'll do it for our device description. We'll say device description equal to resource dot get string array, and we'll say r dot array dot device description. So now we have our array. As you can see here, we have two methods, get count and get item. Get item is returning a fragment which is shown on our swipe view. Each time when you swipe, so the data changes, and the data is coming from this method get item. And get count tells our page viewer that this many number of pages I have, or the fragments I have. So here what we will say is the count is nothing but like our devices.length or our device description.length. So we'll say devices.length, which is our get count. And before I implement the get item, I want to implement one more method, or I want to override, I would say, one more method, which is get page title. So I'll say get page title pull, and in this method what I will do is I will set the title. So it's like a zero based index. So in our devices we have our title, we will set the title from our devices array. So say devices, and we'll pass position here. So now our title is set. Now we need to implement our get item. What I will do in our get item method is, first of all, I will create a bundle, and in that bundle I will put my data like device description and the ID for our image, and then we will set that bundle in our device fragment, and then we'll return our device fragment from this method and define a bundle here. It's a bundle, sorry, it's a bundle. We'll say bundle equal to new bundle, and we'll say bundle dot put string. We'll say put string, and we'll say our key will be device fragment dot our description key, and the string will be our device description and the position which is coming from our integer. So it's a position. And to set the resource ID for our image, what we'll do is bundle dot put int, and the key is our device fragment image key, and the value will come from some function. I have written this small function here, and based on the position it will give me the image ID for our drawable. So in case of 0 or the first swipe view, it will give the image of a Windows phone. In case of a second swipe view, it will give the image of the Android, and in case of third swipe view, it will give the image of the iOS. So we'll just call this here. We'll say get device image ID, and we'll say position. So now we have put our data into our bundle. Now what we need to do is we need to set this for our fragment. So what we'll do is we'll set device fragment equal to device fragment, say new, we'll say device, and we'll set device fragment dot set argument, and we'll pass our bundle here, and after this we'll return our fragment here. We'll say device fragment. So now our device adapter is ready. Now what I have done is, in our main activity I have already created a variable of our device pager adapter, and I created an instance of our device page adapter here, and I have passed it our fragment manager and the application context. And to set the viewer page with the section adapter, we need to call a set adapter method, and we need to pass our adapter here. In our case it is a device pager adapter. So after doing this, our app is ready. So before we run our app, let's just walk through what we have done. So first of all, we have created our device fragment, and in this device fragment we displayed our image view and our text view with the whatever value is passed to us, we have set that value here. And after that we have created a device page adapter, and this one what we have done is, for each section of our view pager we are returning a fragment here, and that fragment, and in that fragment we are passing some variable here or some values here, and in our device fragment we are using that value to show that value here. So now let's run our app. So now you can see that our app is launched here, and the title is showing our device name, and the image is showing for our device, and the description is for the device. So if you swipe, now the description and the image is changed, and if you do one more swipe, it will change, and it has changed to now iPhone, and you can swipe back also. So with this demo we are done with this module. In our next module we will learn about how to save data. I hope you enjoyed this module. Thanks a lot for watching, and stay tuned for our next module.